From historic towns to amazing food and beautiful scenery, it's no wonder Portugal is such a popular destination.
But with its growing popularity, we found that the best experiences often happen when you step off the beaten path. After spending months exploring different parts of the country, today we're sharing our top 5 recommendations for visiting Portugal. Portugal has been facing some serious over-tourism, especially in cities like Lisbon and Porto. To get away from the crowds, our first recommended thing to do is book a small group or private day tour with local guides to take you off the beaten path.
You can learn more about the tours we recommend in our blog post, which we'll link in the video description.
Number 2, some of Portugal's best gems are the smaller towns and lesser-known cities, like Leiria with its castle on a hill that has amazing views.
Or Tomar, which has a great history from the Knights Templar.
There are so many great towns and villages worth visiting, and we have a list of some of our favorites in the blog post that we've linked below. Now, if you love bakeries and pastries, like I do, then Portugal is the perfect place for you. Even though we cooked most of our own meals, we loved going out for a pastry at the bakeries and coffee shops.
Yeah, we might have eaten too many, but no regrets.
The one that you must try is pastel de nata. It's the iconic custard tart that's crispy on the outside and creamy on the inside.
And don't just stop for the famous ones. Every region has its own specialties.
Next up, one of the best ways to experience Portugal is simply by walking, which is right up our alley.
Yeah, there are so many amazing hiking and walking routes. Some of our favorite were hiking around Sintra's palaces, which we've covered in a blog post, and then the Algarve 7 Hanging Valleys Trail.
Driving in Portugal was great, but with the amount of highway tolls, it's not as cheap as you'd think.
Fortunately, buses and trains between cities are affordable, easy, and reliable. In cities like Lisbon or Porto, the metro and streetcars are also efficient. Just be prepared for crowds in popular areas.
To help you feel more confident navigating unfamiliar places, whether by public transit, car, or on foot, we've created a whole toolkit of online courses for travelers, which we'll link in the description. Hopefully this gives you some ideas for your own Portugal trip.
If you're in our Toolkit membership or enrolled in our courses, thank you. Take advantage of our step-by-step tutorials on Google Maps, trip research, navigating new places, and finding hidden gems to help you make the most of every trip.